Hi, Matt McAndrew here, Technical Manager at Kytun. Welcome back to our training hub. You've seen in one of our previous videos we fitted the ambidextrous drive verge system, so today I'm going to take the opportunity to just fix on the handed system. Slightly different method of appearance, certainly when it's fitted and finished, but also from the starter point of view as well. It's a little bit different compared to the ambidextrous handed non-handed product. So when we're fitting these, you quite often, from a technical perspective, I've had a customer who's fitted the verge and the bottom end is doing this. And it's because they've not used the starter, they've not fixed it properly. Or I'll get a photograph with a big galvanized screw and washer through the face here into the barge board. Is that the correct way of fitting the product? No, it's not. We supply these products with a starter. Starters can be a little bit fiddly to fit, but once you know what you're doing, they're very easy. So here you can see I've marked the fascia previously to give me a rough line of the angle of the tile that's going to go on, and I've fixed my product so that it aligns with the front edge of the tiles when they come in, and I'm just ready now to clip the verge into place. So on the back of the verge here, I've got two little slots either side, and they're going to marry up with these raised edges, flanges on the starter piece. So let's do that first. So if you look now, you'll see that the flanges here have aligned and I've actually clapped that thing in. If I just restrain the top edge here, you can see it's offering an immediate resistance to it being pulled about, in this case, by wind load. So now my tiles have come across. I'm going to just drop the first one in behind the verge piece here. So I'm looking to get the nibs on the back of the batten there, slide it in, and it's now snugging to the inside edge of my verge piece at the bottom here. Next, we're going to screw it in place. Now, recently I've been asked a number of times about our batten end fixing clip. Normally you'd fit one of these to the top of the batten for where you're going to nail your verge in place. If you're going to screw the verge in place, we don't need a batten end clip because the screw offers sufficient pull-out resistance from the end grain of the timber to not need the clip. So, while we're actually at this stage of the verge, let me just show you that now we've fixed it. Look, I'm shaking the whole roof rig there. It's that secure, and that's what we're looking for, that the bottom end is secured and the top end is secured, because the next verge is going to come down, slide over the top of it, and once they're interlocked, that interlocking process here secures the bottom end of the next verge, and so on up the roof. So it's very important that we get this bit right. So when it comes to fitting them, I'm simply going to overlap one over the other so that they engage the slots at the bottom here and it can slide. And you see here how we can provide adjustment for the gauge for the roof tile, so it will work from a very closed gauge up to a gauge of 355 millimeters. So most roof tiles within interlocking roof tiles in the UK and Ireland. All I'm going to do, just while it's here, I'm not going to fix it just yet until I just make sure that my tile is going to be in the right place and the verge finished to go with it. So we'll just get that in there, like so. I want the bottom end of the verge piece here against the bottom edge of the tile. Once that's secure, I can put a screw through the end here again. So typically we're looking at a 40mm stainless steel screw here into the centre of the batten. And again, you'll see that that's locked in the top end, and the interlocked end here at the bottom, the whole thing is secure. So I'm just going to go ahead now and finish the roof. So here we go, we've finished with the actual verge itself. Now you can see the handed verge gives a more traditional finish to the roof. So you see in the olden days, you would use an undercloak underneath here for you to hold your sand and cement in, so you would end up with a nice flat underside to your verge, and the verge would just step down the top of each tile. And that's what you get with the handed verge. You get that traditional finished appearance. Whereas with the ambidextrous verge, with the non-handed version, you get a step at the top here, but you also get a step at the bottom. So it's a modern look, I suppose, compared to the more traditional look of the handed verge. So once your verge is finished and you've reached the apex, you'd use some form of end cap. So here I've got our plastic half-round version. You can see on the front here there's a variety of indented countersunk holes for where you can fix. So if you look at the way I've aligned the roof here, clearly the two different verges, so there's a slight mismatch in heights, there we go. But you would just fix through, or you could fix through here into the ridge pattern, or you could fix through, if you've a ridge tree, elsewhere. And you just overlap the ridge cap, fix that on, and that's your finished verge. Looks very neat and tidy. Thank you very much.